Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, and today I would like to talk about Chardonnay. Chardonnay, wait, I thought this was a mezcal root. Yeah, it is. Give me a second. Okay, Chardonnay. Chardonnay is a wine grape that is often kind of regarded as not very interesting by wine nerds such as myself. Because it's kind of grown everywhere, everyone makes one. And it's just much more fun to spend your time studying, weird varietals from Croatia and fun co-ferments and, hybrids that people are trying to make pet nats out of, things like that. But here's the thing about Chardonnay. It's grown everywhere. Everyone makes one. Some of the hottest wine growing regions in the world. Morocco, Southern California, the more brutal parts of Australia, they all grow Chardonnay. But also, a lot of the coldest wine growing regions in the world, New Zealand, Chablis, Champagne, Britain. I've seen Chardonnays out of Germany, these super duper cold places. They also make Chardonnay. You can grow it in a whole variety of different soil types. You can apply a whole bunch of different winemaking approaches. So from this one grape, you get this tremendous variety of all these different wines, right? And so that is kind of interesting. It becomes less of just this boring, it's another Chardonnay, and a way to sort of test out what are those different regions, those different soils, those different, winemaking approaches. What do they do? So we're going to do some mezcals, and we're going to talk about Espadin, also known as our old friend angustifolia. Because I noticed when I did some... I keep doing reviews of, agave from outside of Oaxaca, and discovering that underneath a lot of those are still angustifolia. So basically, it's still Espadin, which is the predominant agave in Oaxaca. So I thought to myself, okay, let's just do a huge honkin' lineup of all the Espadins I can or I shouldn't say Espadins, because some of them are, I guess, I don't know what you even say, different clones of angustifolia. All the angustifolias I can possibly get my hands on. We'll line them up and we'll taste them all to see, just what the varietal can do. So that's the project for today. We've got 4 different villages, and I'm going to kind of keep all these are from Oaxaca. In the next video, part 2 of this, I'm going to be doing other areas of Mexico. But today's Oaxaca. And we're going to get started with some stuff from Sola de Vega, which is the village very, very famous for what's called the ancestral style. So distillation in clay. And we're going to get started right away with this selection. Sorry, it's a lot of sample bottles. From Cuentacuentos. This is distilled by Angel Cruz Robles, again in Sola de Vega. And hey, it's an Espadin, 46.36% ABV. I'll put more information down below. And I'm putting the ancestrals first because they tend to be a little bit more soft and subtle. I definitely don't want to be drinking these things after, the bombs we're going to encounter from Ejutla. So let's get started. It's very dusty. So for me, the textbook Espadin character is kind of mint vanilla with a little bit of chocolate kind of creeping in. This I'm definitely getting a little bit of mint. I'm getting some almost like old peppermint, like rotting peppermint. There's a lot of almost mud. No, really more like almost river clay. It's something like not nice clay, not like potting clay. This is just some kind of minerally rocky stuff you pick up by a river. But with some, you know, mostly dead peppermint in it. Okay, there's some chocolate. There's some like kind of, or really almost unrefined cacao happening. Like freshly roasted cacao, something like that. Some basil intermingling with the peppermint, with the peppermint note. It's very restrained. It's very subtle, and that's just kind of this style. Now, what interested me about these two options from Sola de Vega is they're quite inexpensive. Like Ancestrals tend to be pretty pricey. Like clay distillation, you tend to be paying over $100. Both of these are around $80. So if they're good and you want to try that style, they could be good options. It's just very, it smells very refined. I mean, it's I wouldn't say clean because it smells pretty darn grungy. But yeah, let's go. It's kind of knows what it is. It isn't all flash and bomb. It's just kind of like, hey, I'm here. I'm a nice grungy, muddy clay Espadin. Okay, on the palate. Oh, good. We're bringing some fruit in here. There's a lot of lemon lime happening. There's a lot of actually it's squirt. It is the grapefruit soda that is not ting. It is. There's a lot of squirt on here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, squirt. That's kind of had some peppermint and basil mixed around in it. There's a little bit of campfire ash happening. The clay aspect is gone. We're really just getting straight up mud now. Like, you know, I was recently reminded of The Secret of Nim and all the kind of muddy stuff going on at the end of that movie. God, that movie traumatized me as a child. So just imagine picking up some of the muck that's about to kill all the small child mice and putting some of that muck in your mouth. Along with squirt and a bunch of herbs. And that's kind of what this tastes like. It's not rocking my world, but it's nice. Let's move on. Wait, let me give this a squirt of water, and then we will move on. And you will notice this is the only bottle I bought like a whole thing of so far. And I just couldn't resist because, again, it's an Ancestral, and it was like less than $80. I don't know how to pronounce this. Koch, I think. I know next to nothing about this producer, but this is distilled, again, in Sola de Vega by Isidiro Damian. This is lot 11/20, bottled just above 47%. So let's see what we got here. And again, it's an Ancestral, so clay distilled, and it's it's all Espadin. Much more high tone, much more. I want to say floral, but it's not exactly floral. It's almost. This is gonna sound weird. Imagine there was like a field of flowers, right? But then you mow it down. You just mow down all those flowers, all the petals and stuff just go up into the lawnmower and get chopped up to pieces, and the lawnmower leaves. And so you're left leaving this kind of mowed lawn of cut flowers. And then on top of that, you're going to spread like a whole bunch of my beloved hippie toothpaste, that mix of like fennel and mint. If you know, you know. Yeah, it's like it's destroyed flowers and hippie toothpaste, and that's most of what's going on. There is a little bit of clay on this too, but it is more of that kind of clean potting clay kind of smell. So it's not as grungy. Again, it's more high toned than the previous Espadin. A little bit of like basil in this, but not nearly as much as the last one. It's much more on all the stuff I just mentioned. So on the palate, though, they kind of converge. Yeah, you're really okay. So you're really getting the peppermint, the kind of half dead peppermint, the basil. It's not squirt this time. It is actually like lemon lime soda, so a little bit of Sprite mixed in there. But you are still getting the hippie toothpaste component. What's a little bit disappointing about both of these so far is I normally, what I really love about these clay distilled mezcals is they often have these just gorgeous textures. These aren't really bringing that so much. The mouthfeel is nice. These are delicious, but it's not like coating my entire mouth down in the way that I kind of am craving a little bit. I mean, pretty good mouth presence. Decent length, good finish. Decent, but again, not outstanding mouthfeel. It's somewhere between the secret of Nim mud and the like potting clay thing in terms of the soil minerality type going on here. All in all, the palate is still, it's a little bit cleaner than the last one, but they are converging a little bit. This and the Cuentacuentos. All right, I'm gonna set up glass number 3, add a squirt of water to my Koch L. Like a squirt and like a couple drops. All right, moving on. Now. This is a village. I do not know it all. This is from Rio de Ejutla. I'm not going to be pronouncing any of these correctly. I really apologize. I'm trying my best. And this is from Bozal, which is a pretty big producer. This is the Guias de Calabaza Sacrificio Mezcal Artesanal. So we're back to pot distillation on this, or copper pot distillation, I should say. Now, what's interesting about this is it's a village which I have no information about. It's kind of, all of these are really kind of south of the city of Oaxaca itself, but this was way, way off, kind of away from everything else. And Sacrificio, if you go to Bozal's website and look up what it means, it's basically Pechuga. It basically means they're throwing some kind of protein in with this, and I couldn't figure out what kind of protein it was, which is annoying. But it was bottled probably circa 2021, 47%. And again, it's not too expensive by Pechuga saying, whoa! That's crazy. For a second here, I'm going to be really serious. I thought I had poured some of that Leopold Brothers lime cordial that I reviewed earlier this week. Or not reviewed, I talked about it. This has an intense, like, candied lime and aromatic lime kind of profile. It smells like a key lime pie you actually made from key limes, which tend to be a little bit more floral. That's exactly what this smells like. That's so cool. I've never gotten that on an Espadin before. Wow. Okay, so I was expecting. I usually don't get a lot out of the Pechuga-ness of Pechugas, but if I get anything, usually it's a little bit of an extra kind of burned character. Not here. Like, this just smells like straight up, like aromatic limes, candied limes, key lime pie. No, maybe a little bit of mango in there as well. Extremely fruity. There's a little bit of ashy smokiness coming through here. Maybe like someone lit up like a oh, I don't know, like a candela, like one of those fun green cigars. Just a little bit, just kind of in the background, giving color. What a fun nose! There's not a whole lot of like breadth to it in terms of the character, but the intensity and the vividness of that lime thing is really fun. All right, on the palate. Cool. I may have to start taking Bozal seriously. This is kind of taking an early lead for me. So it is a lot of the lime character from the nose is here on the palate. It really arrives on like just straight up like some kind of lime candy thing. And then it gets interesting. So it's all lime candy up front. And then as it kind of moves back towards my mouth, you know, and hits, what are the teeth right before the molars? It hits right here, and then it just kind of explodes into herbs and, I don't know, some kind of, what is that? Herbs and some kind of flavory seed. It's not aniseed. Yeah, maybe it is aniseed. Maybe I'm just, yeah, okay. It's got like a little bit of an absinthe thing on the really on the mid palate transitioning into the finish. That's fun. Lime, and then yeah, like aniseed, but aniseed mingled with a whole bunch of other herbs that's kind of hard to pick up on. Some bitterness, a hint of wormwood, but it's very light. Basil again. Oh, there's even just a little tinge of vanilla in there. Actually, there's some ash. That same kind of like candela smoke thing happening again. This is delightful. And yeah, not at all what I was expecting from an Espadin. So this is lots of fun already. This is already a worthwhile experiment, and I'm only 3 glasses into my 12. Good Lord. Okay. All right. So this was 47%. So I'm going to give that a squirt and a couple drops. Darn excited to see what these things do with water. All right, moving on to mezcal number 4. One more time. Nuestra Soledad, and this is from La Chigui, which is another village. I have no idea what its heritage is. I don't think I've ever tried anything from this particular village before, but I'm very curious about this because it's again an Espadin, but it's made on a Filipino still. So one of those crazy stills with the just look up a picture, you'll see. And this is 48% distilled by Pedro Vasquez, lot 18. Again, I'll try to put as much information as I can find down below. And first impression, it's definitely a lot quieter than the the Bozal was. But first impression, we are in Espadin town. Like, this smells like peppermint. Yeah, a little spearmint too. A lot of kind of dark chocolate elements. Like super duper, like 99% lints, you know? Some muddiness. Regular mint. Overall a little constrained on the nose so far. Okay, no, wait, no, I was talking, and now it throws me a whole bunch of orange peel. I really like bergamot peel. It's a little bit herbaceous. So yeah, like muddy peppermint brownies or something like that is the impression I'm getting. Maybe with a whole bunch of pebbles and stuff dumped on it. There's a little bit of lemon peel coming through as well to kind of join with the orange. Overall, kind of with the ones I've tried so far, this one for me is the closest approaching like textbook Oaxaca Espadin. Even so, it's still a little bit grungier than I was expecting, which is fun. All right, on the palate. It's just a great varietal. I mean, it's tough. It's quick. It's relatively quick to grow. You can cultivate it pretty easily, and like it's just not hard to make this sort of delicious, like sweet desserty profile. This presents very, very, very sweet. It's super yummy. Oh, that's terrific. It's like drinking a kind of muddy, rocky York peppermint patty. That's about the best I can do with this. There's a little bit of a campfire-y thing happening too. Like some twigs and sticks. Good mouthfeel. Actually, better mouthfeel than the Ancestrals, which is impressive. Good mouth presence overall, and it's got that kind of hedonistic Espadin profile, which so many people, including myself, kind of got drawn into in our early mezcal drinking days. But also brings a fair bit of complexity and nuance. There's a darkness to this, which I appreciate, and let me see if I can work that a little bit more. Yeah, it's the twigs and stuff kind of holding in the background, those little ashy notes, making this just not just like, you know, I'm eating a York peppermint patty. It's really giving this some nice color. All right, I am enjoying that. I'm going to stop drinking it so I can have some left for the next round. One squirt, a couple drops. 1, 2, 3. Let's stop there. Okay, so we've gone through 3 villages, including 2 I don't really know at all, and that's cool. But now we're going to Miahuatlan, which is known really for these kind of slightly higher alcohol fruit bombs, I would say. These tend to be very outgoing, fruity, explosive examples of mezcal. I'm going to start with something I reviewed before. This is the Vago. Vago, huge brand. They're owned by, like, I think it's Heaven Hill now owns them. But this is from Emigdio Jarquin. Serious, big, famous producer down there. And yeah, this is, what is this? I'll put all the lot number down there. But it's 50.3% alcohol, which is the strongest thing yet. And here we go. Very different character from the others so far. There's more, more heat coming through. I shouldn't say heat. Alcohol nip, which is strange because this is only like, maybe 2% higher than these others. It smells a little bit like a drier sheet. Yeah, let's start with that. Dryer sheet on top of, what is that? There's some like soapstones, little soapstone rocks around. There's some, actually, just like dirty laundry. It smells a little bit like dirty laundry. But the more attention I pay to this, the more the fruit starts to come through. There's actually some pear coming through on this. Like aromatic pear, like Asian pear. A touch of vanilla. I'm looking for more. Come on. Come on, little Espadin. No, that's pretty much about it. There's some kind of vague fruity hints. That pear is the main one. Maybe some mango coming through as well. Yeah, let's leave it at that. On the palate. One more time. Of these, of this lineup so far, at least, this has the most kind of ashy character. It's very peppery, lots of black pepper, lots of ash, but it's also kind of the flattest in a way. I mean, this was one of the cheapest options in the lineup, so maybe that's fair. But give me a second. Yeah, it's pretty fruity though. Okay, so take some like junior mints and mash them up. Mix them around with a bunch of soapstone rocks and ash. What kind of ash? Yeah, let's go campfire ash again, but also a little bit of like get a little like coal ash in there as well. So like really carbony ash, just a little bit, not too much. Maybe half an ashtray as well. Kind of mix that around and kind of cover your mouth in that. That's sort of what this is doing. It's not bad because the junior mint thing is coming through. There's some vanilla as well. But I don't know, it's not, after the rest of this lineup, it's not really doing it for me. It's also a little bit short in the mouth. It's kind of dying. No, it's not too bad. It's dying a little ways past my molars, but certainly not the most impressive mouth presence in this lineup. But it's good. It's yummy. But I do remember that the batch I had before as being a little bit better. All right, let's give this some water. We'll see what happens. Yeah, 2 squirts, 2 full squirts. It's 50% plus. It'll take it. And then another Miahuatlan. This one, another Espadin from Juan Garcia. This is I'm not going to be able to get this out. Mezcalosfera. I think this was like a really tiny release. The picture I found was from like a hip flask of this stuff. But 50.6% alcohol, and again, Espadin. Oh, I love you, Oaxaca. This smells like pickle juice. And I absolutely love it. Let me see if I can give you some more. Okay. But the funny thing is, it's really dominated by pickle juice, which I love. I was back in the days when I was in shape and I had to do dieting a lot. Like pickles were my big thing. I would eat like and I would eat like way too many of them, and the burps were brutal. But this kind of is putting me in the mind of those just like whole jars of kosher pickles. Yeah. But it still smells like an Espadin. We're still getting a little bit of that peppermint character, that stone ground dark chocolate character, a little bit of mango again. So it's as if you took a very traditional, not traditional, very stereotypical kind of Espadin, and then cover the whole thing in pickles. That's exactly what this smells like, and I'm all here for it. On the palate. Where did I put this back? I am not putting this guy back. This is probably long since sold out, but this is hitting exactly my happy point. Again, there's a core of York peppermint patty thing on this, super duper sweet pepperminty chocolatey thing. But the difference is this time is all the supporting elements are like pickles and a little bit of sauerkraut and just weird fermented things. There's a little bit of ash and pepper in this, but not, it's really weird fun fermented stuff. And I absolutely adore it. That is fantastic. There's a little bit of pear in this too. Pear, absolutely. Even a little vanilla. It's a completely different take on Espadin, but still recognizable as Espadin, and I just love that. I'm gonna give this 2 squirts. Go back to it. 1. No, that is not a full squirt. 2. All right, and we'll go through the lineup again. Give some scores. This is not my good Sharpie. I can't find my good Sharpie, but I'm going to hope this is legible enough to serve us. All right, back to the Cuentacuentos. Back to Sola de Vega. Assuming my palate wasn't completely blown out by these 2 monsters over here. And it's with water, it's actually become much fruitier. It's become more kind of outgoing. There's some kind of orangey elements coming. No, not orange. What is that? Mirabelle. Mirabelle plum, that is what that is. There's some Mirabelle plum coming out. But we're still getting those kind of muddy, grungy elements. Oh yeah. And the squirt. The grapefruit soda kind of thing. That is still there. The sun has turned on. And ruined my lighting for this video. Oh well. On the palate. You know, so I think these two might have heard my comments about the mouthfeel not being what I was hoping for ancestral style mezcal. And they might have taken it a little personally, because now this is just absolutely silky. Oh my God. It gets more Espadin, gets more, yeah, like pepperminty and sweet and candied and delicious. Still has some grapefruit soda elements, still very, very muddy and minerally, which I like. But yeah, the big improvement in this with the addition of water is just it just feels like it's massaging my mouth. So it isn't, which is what I mean, this style can go in different directions, right? But this is choosing the silky direction in terms of how it's approaching me. And yeah, we need to take back smooth as a positive term in spirits description, rather than as something that we poo-poo for people and who don't know anything about spirits for using. This is smooth. This is smooth as baby bum. Still not super duper complex, but it's I'm not complaining. I mean, this is a delicious mezcal. I'm going to give this 87 plus out of 100. And let's move on to the one I actually bought a bottle of. Koch. Let me drink some water. Let us see what happens with this. Again, it was a little bit high-toned on the first run-through. Let's see what happens. Still very, very high-toned. And actually, this is more Mirabelle-driven than the last one. Yeah, a lot of Mirabelle, a lot of like orange drop is the wrong term, because that's lemon drops. What's the name for that orange candy? Really not even orange candy. There's a little bit of like orange Fago on this. But with some minty character and some muddiness, some, like clay, minerally elements. It's not drawing me in to the same extent that the Cuentacuentos was, but it's interesting. It's a fun character on the palate. One more time. There's a ladder and there's a chute to adding water to this. The ladder is the mouthfeel improves measurably. This one went the silky direction. This one is going like the kind of sandy direction almost. It feels like my mouth is being like just scoured with sand, and I'm enjoying it. But the chute you were hitting is the mouth length kind of falls off a cliff a little bit. Has some nice lemon lime kind of things going on. It's not very Espadin-y, this, but it's not bad, but it's also not my favorite. Overall, one more time. I was gonna 84 it, but no, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm gonna go 85 points for this. Not wowing me, but it's fine. It's good. All right, moving on to the Bozal. This was one of the fun ones. All right, on the nose. How the hell do you distill like a desert asparagus thing, or whatever agaves are? What they keep it, they change the taxonomic tree like every week or two. Whatever agave is, you're going to throw that in a still after fermenting it, along with some dead animal bits, and have it come out smelling like lime candy. How does that even happen? So really no change in the nose. It smelled like all the lime things with a little bit of kind of aromatic smoky things happening. And it still really just smells like that. There's maybe a little bit more white pepper coming through now. On the palate. So yeah, it doesn't. There's not a lot of range to this, and it feels more like a gimmick than anything else. But it's a good gimmick. I mean, if I owned a bottle of this, I couldn't see myself breaking it out on a regular occasion. It doesn't really do the. I want to say it doesn't do the balance thing very well, but it does. It's got balance. It just like it's in this completely weird direction that I would never reach for. It's a lime liqueur. That's what this is. And it's absolutely delicious. And I'm going to give it a reasonable score. But yeah, I would never, ever, ever... I don't think I would ever reach for this. How would I score this? I have no idea what to score this. I'm stuck between like an 86 and 87, but so let's call this an 86 plus. 86 plus. I don't know, y'all. I mean, if money is no object, and you can spend 90 bucks on a mezcal just because it's different and it does not taste anything like any Espadin you ever had in your life, you might want to seek this bottle out. But for everyone else, it's good. I find it, and it's really fun and weird, but I don't know if I can recommend it. But yeah, I will definitely keep this village, Rio de Ejutla, on my radar. All right, moving on to the Nuestra Soledad, La Chigui. I'm not pronouncing any of this correctly, am I? Now, this was one of my personal favorites going into this second round. It had a quiet, understated nose to begin with, and it's still kind of quiet and understated. Yeah, it's like if Espadin was like a prog metal band, like that was just starting up a song and it's super quiet at first. Maybe they don't even have the pedals on, but you just know they're going to kick it in and rock it out at any second. That's kind of what this is doing. Oh, there's a little bit of a floral thing. That wasn't here before. Hey, flowers coming in. All right, let's try this on the palate. Oh, Espadin. Espadin, you are so shamelessly delicious sometimes. If anything, this has brought out the York peppermint patty thing even more. Oh, God. Yeah, it's muddy. It's the most delicious, muddy York peppermint patty you will ever have in your life. And there's not a whole lot else to it, but yeah, it just works. It just works. Do I like this more than the Cuentacuentos, though? I don't think I do. The La Chigui has a little bit more intensity to it on the palate, but yeah, the Cuentacuentos on the just has this silky texture to it. Oh, it's a hard job that I do. Let's go 87. 87 points on this. That is super yummy. All right. So far, I think the bottle I have a full thing of is the loser of this flight, and that's okay. Moving on, we are back in Miahuatlan. Back to Vago, Jarquin, whatever. Yeah, it's like mango and Smarties. And like white pepper and soapstone dust. It's very weird. There's almost like a fruit eau de vie thing on this. Oh, and quite a lot of pear. Actually, yeah, that is absolutely what this smells like. This smells like... I was going to say it smells like a pear brandy, but it really does, but it's pear brandy mixed with a whole bunch of other stuff. So maybe a little bit of mezcal thrown in with your brandy. Maybe a little bit of like a mango brandy. I actually have some mango brandy. I need to taste that out in a sec. Okay, so a little bit more outgoing, bring a little bit more of that fruit on the second run through. So that ashiness I was getting on this neat kind of recedes with the addition of water, which I'm happy with. It actually gets a little bit more dimension to it. It becomes a little bit more, obviously Espadin. It brings a little bit more of that kind of like peppermint patty kind of character. I left the window open because it's a pretty hot day, and I'm kind of regretting that decision. This is a busy neighborhood. Again, it's a little bit like the Koch. It's good, but I'm not completely convinced. And I will give it the same score. 85 out of 100. Yeah. I don't remember what I did with the previous review of this, but I think I had the other one a little bit higher. The other Jarquin Espadin. So yeah, mezcal, traditional production, batch variation. Keeps things fun. And back to my beloved pickle juice. Here we go. This is the Mezcalosfera. It still just smells like pickle juice with a little bit of Espadin in there. What water is added is it's kicked up a little bit of like rock dust. Just like you run to some roadside gravel and just give it a kick. That is 100% like pickle juice Espadin. Yeah. I did not know that existed. I didn't know I needed that in my life, but now I do. I want some flowers. There's some flowers creeping into this as well. Hello, flowers. All right, on the palate. It took the second sip to convince me. Oh, yeah. Oh. So, yeah, it's still got very much that same pickly Espadin flavor profile. The difference is when you add water to this, the mouthfeel just goes, especially on the second sip and beyond, just really takes over your entire palate. It kind of takes some time to build up, but hang with it. I'm being notified that my Frida space is under my limit, so I need to cut this off pretty soon. That's terrific. I think this is probably the winner of the flight. 88 points. 88 points for the Juan Garcia. And yeah, that is the lineup, ladies and gentlemen. So this is what's the order? You like these two? So the Koch L and the Jarquin in DFL position, but still good. I mean, keep that in mind. And the Bozal, and then Nuestra Soledad. Actually, all these three are just fantastic. The Cuentacuentos, which really came alive with water. And the winner is the Mezcalosfera. And I like all these very much. And yeah, I'm gonna stop this video before I run out of space. Thanks for watching, and cheers.